Welcome to SBAM Zion Lansing. Hi, I'm Tony Stamnos, Vice President of Government Relations for the Small Business Association of Michigan.
And I'm Mike Marzano, Director of Government Relations for SBAM.
Mike, a little clarity on a couple issues leading up to this election. The federal court in Cincinnati ruled they're not going to take up the challenge. The legislature had passed a bill the governor had signed which would have ended straight party voting. A federal court judge in Detroit put that on hold, and as it stands now, it looks like that they won't overturn that federal court. So the impact of that is that when you go to vote in November, you will have the option of voting straight party. It's an issue that might come up in future elections as it winds its way through the courts. But for right now, that will still be an option for voters, is to just push the one button and vote for the entirety of the party, be it Republican or Democrat, in the upcoming election. Also, there's still the challenge, some pushing question of putting the marijuana question on based on when they got their ballot signatures. That continues to not succeed at the court level. So it looks like for the first time in a number of years there will be no ballot questions on there. So there'll be a lot of House elections, obviously the presidential election, congressional, but no ballot questions in Michigan. So that's a change. We still see the presidential race here in Michigan being a focal point.
Yep, Tony, as everybody is seeing across the country, the presidential race appears to be tightening up again. Michigan is apparently in play because both campaigns will be visiting the state this weekend. Donald Trump will be in Detroit meeting with religious community there, as well as former President Bill Clinton will be here for the Labor Day parade in Detroit. So some exciting times coming to Michigan with our candidates making sure that the state is important for the election. Speaking of the election, Tony, we're getting our candidate questionnaires in for our general election endorsement process. Thank you to all the candidates who have applied for endorsement, and congratulations to all those that won their primary again. If any of you know any candidates that you don't see on our endorsement list on sbam.org, please have them get their questionnaire into us as soon as possible. Visit sbam.org to check out the questionnaire, to check out who we've endorsed, and let us know if you have any questions. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Small Business Association of Michigan, and on Twitter at SBAM.
We'll see the legislature back in for a few weeks coming up. A couple issues that they might take up, looking at the HICA tax, which we're trying to work with to get that repealed. It's a disincentive for small businesses to offer health care, and so some good bills came out of the Senate. We're going to hopefully see some action on those in the State House. Still talk about energy legislation perhaps coming up in the Senate, and from our end, we want to make sure there's a small business voice in that process. And so I think that's going to be important. We'll certainly be focused in making sure your voice is heard there. And as Mike said, we're still meeting with candidates. We hope to have our general election endorsements out in just a few weeks. So as you can see by our attire, we're getting ready for the Labor Day weekend and also for the kickoff to college football. So hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for joining us today, and go green.
Go blue.